Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this course, we're going to talk about understanding merchant services. What is the merchant services industry? What is credit card processing? That's a question that I get from a lot of potential agents, prospective agents that come into the industry. If you're like me, my first experience in the credit card processing industry was that I went to a credit card processing company. I signed up. I had a strong background in sales, and so I thought this will just be great. Unfortunately, I didn't get any training. They trained me for 2 or 3 hours on a webinar and told me how to sell equipment, but they really didn't give me any industry training, so I didn't understand merchant services. So the goal of this course is to help you understand merchant services, and we're going to start by defining those basic terms that we have in our industry. First of all, a merchant is anyone that sells something. So a merchant would be a business owner. And so anybody that sells something, it could be a restaurant that sells food, that's a merchant. It could be a retail store. It could be, somebody at a thrift store that they have. It could be a specialty shop. Anything like that, anybody that sells anything is a merchant. So when we talk about merchant services, we're talking about services that enable a merchant to sell something. And in this case, we're talking about accepting credit card payments. Now, many people don't realize this because they go into a restaurant or they go into a retail establishment, they give them their credit card, and many consumers don't understand that there's actually a service that's involved that business owners pay for in order to be able to accept credit card. So the ability to accept credit card is called merchant services, or it's called credit card processing. And the business owner themselves, they're not able to work with Visa and MasterCard and Discover and American Express. Those companies don't work directly with the merchant. They go through credit card processing companies, like the company that you're probably working for now. It's called a credit card processing company. And so that company, what they do is they enable a business owner to accept credit card. They accept a credit card payment, and then they're able to fund that transaction and give the merchant that money. So let's use an example to kind of give you a brief overview of how the process works. Let's say that you went into a retail store and you brought your credit card with you and you wanted to purchase $100 worth of items. Now, you would go up to the cash register and say, I want to use my credit card. If they have a credit card processing provider, if they have a credit card processor, then they're able to accept your credit card. They take your credit card, they type in $100 on their machine, and they swipe the card through, and it comes up and says approved. Now, what actually happened in that transaction is that credit card terminal dialed out to the credit card processing company. The credit card processing company dialed out to Visa or MasterCard, whatever type of card you used, to verify that you had those funds available. Then they sent a message back that said, yes, you do. So it came up as approved on the credit card machine, and then a little receipt prints out, and you sign the receipt. Now, at that point, the merchant doesn't have $100 yet. All they did is they ran it through their terminal and they have an approval code. So they know that that card was good for $100 and they know that that transaction was approved. But now a really important thing happens. Visa or MasterCard or whoever your card was, they don't actually fund that transaction for about 3 to 6 months. And so what happens is somebody has to give that money to the business owner, to the merchant. They don't want to wait 6 months to get their money, right? So that's where credit card processing companies come in handy. What they do is they take that $100. They know it's approved by Visa or by MasterCard. They take that $100 and then they go ahead and deposit it in the next few days in that business owner's checking account. Now, when they deposit that $100 in the business owner's checking account, then now they have that $100. Now, the credit card processing company, they're the ones that are going to actually get that money from Visa and MasterCard in 3 to 6 months. So basically, when you really boil it all down, a credit card processing company is really just a company that funds credit card transactions and provides the equipment and the file and all the things that are needed by that merchant, the merchant services, so that they can accept a credit card and then so they can receive payment from transactions that they run through their terminal. So that's what merchant services or credit card processing is. Let's talk about a couple other terms that you're going to hear throughout this training and in the industry. you're going to hear electronic payment processing. Electronic payment processing. Now, electronic payment processing is a broader term than merchant services or credit card processing. When you talk about electronic transaction processing, that is talking about, includes gift cards. It includes electronic check processing, which we'll talk about later in the training. It basically includes any type of electronic funds transfer that's happening at a business. For instance, you are probably familiar with many businesses that charge your checking account an automated ACH transaction, every month or whatever it might be. That is an example of an electronic transaction, okay? So electronic payment processing encompasses all of those electronic payments. But when we're talking about credit card processing or merchant services, that's specifically talking about the ability to accept credit card payments. In the next video, we're going to talk about a few other terms in our industry that you're going to hear quite a bit.